Jay and Rich. What's crack-a-lackin'? This is the big boss dog, Snoopy Deagle Double Jizzle. Bang, boom, what you gonna do? Jay and Rich. We're not talking about Ren 1010. We're not talking about Lassie. It's the one and only dog, y'all. The classy, sassy, big Snoop Deagle Double Jizzle. In your face to be, and in the place to be. And you're listening to John, Jay, and Rich. Wake your ass up.
104.7 KISS FM. It's John, Jay, and Rich. 877-937-1047. Call us right now. Jump on the air with us right this very second. You can also text us. You text JJR and whatever you want to say to the number 96893. Peyton on the show is on vacation. And I follow almost all her family, you know. And do you guys see the video? I posted it on our John J. Rich Instagram
I did
account
not
this
see
morning. The video this morning of Peyton's dad walking through the airport.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Because I follow her dad, too. Yeah. So he's such a character.
He is hilarious. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. And the way he dresses and stuff, and he was all about his outfit. So if you go to John J. and Rich, you can see it. They're like in Belgium as a family, which is very cool because like Peyton's dad, mom, sister, and her brother. Like, that's so cool to be an adult and do an adult trip with your family. Like, no kids, no boyfriend, no girlfriend.
Don't you think it probably devolves into you are literally the kids again? Like, little
100%.
kids.
Yeah.
It goes right back to that because if you don't have your other family with you, then you're just, mom and dad and the brother and sis.
Yeah, I imagine him in like the back of the Uber and like, don't cross this line right here.
Mom! He's looking at me, Mom!
Yeah, 100%. Well, I can't wait to hear about her vacation. Anyway, you can see that on John J. Rich on Instagram. And speaking of evolving in the relationship, baby Noah is in the studio because Noah has a big announcement. I was all shocked. What is your announcement, Noah?
My big announcement is that I'm moving out of my parents' house.
Oh, my gosh.
How old are you?
23.
Yeah, no.
Thought this day would never come.
That's pretty big. I mean, you got it made over there. You had a fridge in your bedroom with all of your own favorite snacks. I mean, you had it made.
I had my dad texting me, asking me what hot meals I wanted when.
Yeah.
So when is the day you move out?
Well, technically, the official date was supposed to be this Friday, the 21st, but I pretty much have moved in as of this weekend. I slept there last night.
Oh, wow.
And this is with my best friend, Lenora. We have an apartment together.
Do you have your own room and stuff? Or you
I
have
do.
your room?
I have my own room and bathroom.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What about the refrigerator? Your actual size refrigerator? Are you bringing that in?
I am bringing that in on Friday, yes.
In your room? It'll be in your bedroom?
Room. So at first I was like, well, maybe I'll leave it in storage because she's got a full fridge in the kitchen, but it's actually kind of small. And we have a lot of just like random cans and bottles and stuff for when I'm kind of like a mixologist, so I'm always making drinks. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely bringing this fridge in here so we can put all that stuff in there and actually have room in the fridge for groceries. So we're going to be a double fridge family.
How long? Because your drive to come in the morning before was almost an hour one way, right?
Yeah.
So is this a lot closer?
Today it only took me 23 minutes.
Whoa.
All that extra sleep you're going to get.
Time.
Are your parents excited or are they kind of sad that you're moving out? I mean, whenever my kids move, I'm sad.
Well, I first had the conversation with them a little over a year ago, and my dad basically cried and was like, please don't move out. Like, you're such a dynamic in this family.
He's such a sweet man, your dad.
It was a sweet talk. And then recently, when it came up again, they were like, bye. See ya.
Because your Winifred was probably like, now we can do it in any room. Now we're doing it in every room in the house. I can't do a good Winifred.
And my parents are also getting a new house themselves, and it's only 15 minutes away from the apartment. So we're just
far
things
enough.
are a little bit easier in the miles commute now.
Good.
But what about the roommate? What about having a roommate that isn't your immediate family?
Well, so me and Lenora argue similar to how I would argue with my mom, and I have to remember to tone it back a little because me and my mom have always had the kind of relationship where it's full on, all guns out. Like, we yell, scream, curse, and then like we just make up afterwards. And she's always encouraged that kind of dynamic where we can fight in that way. And Lenora and I have the same kind of unfiltered friendship, but like, I have to remember she is my friend and not like my mom that
so what I'm
she knows
hearing
we pick on each other.
So what I'm hearing is the biggest part of your relationship is that you get to yell at Lenora the same way you yell with your mom.
I don't want to yell at her the same way I yell at my mom, and I do sometimes.
Well, she's your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I got my own place, my best friend moved in with me, and it eventually fell apart. I don't
It fell
talk to me
apart.
anymore. Yeah.
It is tough
It's
being
tough.
roommates with like your besties because you're besties, I feel like you don't want to like ruffle feathers. And if certain little things start annoying you, you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're still my bestie. But then it starts like crawling underneath your
100%
skin, and
what
it
I was
gets
getting at.
so irritating.
Little things really start to piss you off, especially if one makes more money than the other person. And then it's like, well, you paid for this. Or I remember paying for things, and then my roommate would just take advantage of it. I would get so pissed.
Or like cleaning. Like if
Cleaning.
one person does all the cleaning, then it's like at first like no big deal. I like cleaning, and then after a while it's like maybe you want to clean a little bit, like maybe once or twice.
yeah.
Maybe pick up a sponge.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It'll probably be where you're going to come in and you're not going to talk about, hey, you want to talk about what it's like living with your roommate? No. Because you're going to be, it's too personal. You guys
You're
got
like, I just walked to my room. I just walked straight to my
You
room.
have to promise that you can let us do like roommate court at some point where she comes in here and we have a
Oh,
big
that's a
courtroom.
great idea.
You say that now until you guys
Until
get
it's
to a huge
real.
fight over it.
But that's good content. From a content
It
perspective,
is.
I love that.
Also, speaking of good content, so Noah sent me this Instagram post yesterday, and I thought it was because I knew his parents were moving, and there's a whole news story about a neighborhood. And I was like, is that where your parents are moving? And he's like, no, but this neighborhood's gone viral, and he stopped by there. What's that story?
So they're building a neighborhood in Youngtown, which is just south of Surprise and like west of Westgate. And there is this QT on Olive Avenue that just goes on, and there's nothing around it because there's like that dry Agua Fria river that's not a river
Right.
is there. And somehow they got the green light to build a development of houses in behind the QT, but the QT's kind of in the way. So instead of like fencing it off or anything, the what they've done is use the road like that would be outside of your driveway, like the road you would back onto, as the parking lot for the QT. So if you back out of your driveway, you're in the parking lot.
Right?
Okay.
Like the news reporter said it took her 12 steps to go from the front door of the house to the QT.
That sounds kind of awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when you pull back, it's like there's this QT. It's like they built the neighborhood around the QT. It's so weird.
At least it's a QT. Those are always pretty nice.
They get fresh pizza all the time.
I'd be there all the. I mean, it's so
If it
easy.
was-
Just go. You don't need a grocery store. You don't need anything. You just go to the QT every day.
If it was like a duplex or a condo of some sort, like it would make sense and it would be kind of convenient. But the fact that it's just like a normal house and you could like back into the building if you hit the gas too hard coming out of the driveway. So I first heard about this in December, and I was like, I didn't know where it was at, and I was like, how weird. And then I was on my way from the apartment to my parents' new house construction site, and I was like, oh, there's a QT, I'll stop and get gas. And I was like, this is the magical QT. This is where everybody's stopping at. And there were literally influencers there with their tripods and their ring lights,
Really?
like making videos for Instagram about it. And
That's so
I had
funny.
backed out of my parking spot at the QT, and I was almost in someone's driveway, and I was like, wow, this is really something.
Yeah, the news story is unbelievable. I'll post it on John Jane Rich. You can see the news story because it's pretty wild. That'd be so great. What else? It'd be great to have that like in front of if it was a frozen yogurt
Sure,
shop.
or a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be
There's a
amazing.
Filberto's next to the QT.
There is.
There you go.
Wow, that should be in a college. That's like a great. You know what I mean? Like if the university was close by.
Yeah, before Stacy and I moved in, her house was literally across the street from a Taco Bell. I'm like, you have chosen so wisely.
Why did you move in there?
I wanted to. She's like, you still got to cross a busy street to get to the Taco Bell. I'm like, but it's right there.
It's
you
right
can feel
there.
it.
Well, congratulations, Noah, on moving out, becoming an adult. Can't wait
you.
to hear all the stuff. Kyle, what's coming up with 3 things you need to know?
Okay, guys, it is kind of like we're in like the Twilight Zone or something with all of these airplanes. Like, what is going on with airplanes lately? Yesterday, a Delta Airlines plane crashed at Toronto. It was coming from Minneapolis, and literally on the runway as it was coming in, it flipped over. So everyone on the plane had to evacuate upside down, right? Insane. Luckily, there were no casualties reported at this time, although 2 people were critically injured. At least 15 people were injured, generally speaking, but there were 80 people on board. I'm sure you've seen the pictures on social media. It's pretty wild to
It
see
is
this plane
nuts.
upside down.
With no wings.
Did a wing snap or something?
Yeah, but, well, I guess if the wind shear was really heavy and the runway was covered with snow and ice.
Yeah, I think they
So-
got like 8 inches
Yeah, it's-
piled on of snow, and they think weather could be
But
the
like it
main
just went
reason
like
for
whoop.
it. But
It
yeah,
kind of skidded
it's coming in.
sideways.
So did a wing break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think both of them came off.
Yeah, I listened to an interview of one of the passengers on the plane, and he was like, we were getting tousled around, and we look out the window, and one of the wings just
Jeez, that must have been
So they're
terrifying.
hanging
Terrifying.
upside down like bats until you can get rescued.
Yeah, he was like, it was hard to unhook ourselves from our seatbelts.
I heard there was video of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, but geez, just praying for all those people and praying we could just figure out what's happening in aviation land,
Right?
because it's like scary to fly right now. A longevity expert explained that you may actually be able to predict your lifespan based on how quickly your fingernails grow. Apparently, nail health is a key indicator of the rate at which your body generates new and healthy cells. They say the faster this happens, the more likely we are to be protected against age-related decline. Although it can't be too fast. So they actually found a weekly fingernail growth rate decreased by about 0.5% per year after the age of 30. But if it grows faster than that, it's actually a bad sign.
Oh, no. I was all excited to know where you're going to go with it because I clip my nails all the time. I feel like my fingernails grow fast.
Yeah,
I clipped them this morning.
even. The same.
Like, what, why, how could it be bad?
No, it's okay if they're growing quickly, just not too quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But what happens if it grows too quickly? You're going to die quicker?
It just says you may be aging quicker.
Oh, my God.
But if they're growing at just the right rate, it could be a sign that you're actually aging slower. So go with that. Go with that.
Okay.
I bet you they're going great. You're aging way slower than the average
how
bear,
often do you
John Jay.
clip? Once a week? I think I'm a once a weeker.
I think I might be more than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
That may just be because you like really short nails.
I do like short nails. I like short nails and I like short eyebrow hairs. If my dad had long eyebrow hairs, it gave me a complex.
Now, when it comes to aging, they say obviously exercise is very important. And current guidelines suggest that you do about 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity exercise per week, right? About 150 minutes a week.
That
Check
seems
this
like a
out.
lot.
It does, but it doesn't. It's like an hour 3 times a day. Less than that. A little less
Wait,
than
an
that.
hour?
An hour 3 times a day.
3 times a
Three
week.
times a week, sorry.
Okay.
So working out 3 times a week for an hour, that sounds a
Okay.
little less than 150 minutes, right? So I found this to be quite fascinating because I do this. But they said dancing in your kitchen for 20 minutes a day could just be your exercise goals. So you could go to the gym for an hour 3 times a week or just dance in your kitchen for 20 minutes every day.
Could you post video of that? I want to see you dance in your
yeah.
kitchens while you're making your tuna casserole.
It's a good time. It's
Your
a really
manwich.
good time. So dance or work out, but definitely keep moving. That's the name of the game. And that's 3 things you need to know.
It's horoscope time. It says Peyton is on vacation. We've called in our relief pitcher, videographer, Grant William
Dude, the
Inman.
big dog. You got you're letting the big dog eat this morning.
So, Grant, what's the vibe for horoscopes
Dude,
today?
it's Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday. So with that in mind, and with the end of Cobra Kai premiering this last weekend, I'm going to pump you up. I'm going to give you Cobra Kai style pump up speeches, I guess.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. We're
Motivation.
doing it.
Motivation.
Yeah, we're going hard today.
All right, Grant's predictions after the weekend. It's John Jay and Rich on KISS. We had a pre-show meeting today. And in the pre-show meeting, we talked about Grant doing horoscopes. And producer Nick was like, when Grant does horoscopes, the phones go crazy. So we're going to have to just take our time. It was a whole big thing. And so far, not one person's on the phone for Grant to do
That's
horoscopes.
what's up, dude. That's about what I expected. I love it.
All right, so
Ghost
real
town.
quick. 877-937-1047 is the number to call right now for Grant to do your horoscopes. So let's kick it off, Grant, until someone calls in with Libra.
Oh, you want Libra first?
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to first define what we're doing today?
Yeah.
Sure, because Kyle's a Libra.
All right. Well, Rich, we're doing Cobra Kai style pump up speeches. So we're getting ready for the Saikai Taikai. We're getting ready for the All Valley Sun Championship. Woo! We're getting ready for everything, guys. So I hope you practice your karate. I hope you got your uniforms on, which you all do, I see. This is great. We're off to a good start. We're starting with Libra. Rich, could we change the music here to 3, please? Listen, Libras. You want to keep everything balanced, and that's great. But sometimes balance is just another word for hesitating like a wimp. Life isn't fair, and trying to make it that way is exhausting. So quit overthinking and make a decision. Even if it's the wrong one, at least you did something, Libras. And you've been scoped.
Thank you, Grant.
Congratulations, Grant. Every line is ringing now.
Oh, good.
Good morning, Nate. What's your sign?
What sign are you?
Hey guys, it's me, Nate. I'm a Gemini.
Oh,
I'm really excited to hear my horoscope today because
All right.
I know the phone lines are lighting up.
they are. Thank you, Nate.
All right, so Geminis, Rich. Geminis, you talk a lot. Like, a lot. And that's great. You can hype up a room like a rock concert, but here's the thing. At some point, you got to back it up. Words are just sounds unless you punch them into reality. So stop overthinking, stop overtalking. Just get out there and do something, Geminis. You've been scoped.
Tough
God,
love.
man, we got him,
Tough
dude.
love.
We nailed it today.
It's motivational.
Nailed Nate. Come on.
Jerisa, good morning.
Jerisa.
Jerisa?
Jerisa.
Yes.
Is that what I said, Jerisa?
Yeah, Jerisa.
All right. What's your sign, Teresa?
I'm a Leo.
Jerisa the Leo. Rich, 2. Listen, Leos, you already think you're awesome, so you don't even need me to tell you that. But listen, being the king of the jungle doesn't mean you just stand there looking majestic. You gotta lead. That means something, and sometimes you gotta put your ego aside and do what's right. But also, yeah, keep being badass because the world needs more of you, Leos. Leos, you have been scoped.
All right, Teresa.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. Hi, Julie. What's your sign?
Hi, I'm an Aries.
Ooh, Aries. Ooh, Rich, another one. Listen, Aries.
Uh-oh.
You're a freaking wrecking ball. You see a wall and you don't go around it, you go through it. And that's good. Until you realize some walls are made of steel and you just broke your face. Maybe, just maybe, think before you charge. Nah, screw that. Break another wall. Pain is just the universe telling you you're still alive. Aries, you have been scoped.
All right,
Oh,
Julie.
my God. Yeah.
Grant's going through the Cobra Kai motivational
That's right,
pop-up
brother.
speech. What do you got? Tammy, good morning. What's your sign?
Good morning, Cancer.
Cancer. Ooh, another sad one. Another bummer. Listen, Cancer, I know you got a lot of feelings, and that's cool or whatever, but you can't just sit in your emotion shell and mope. Life's not a sad indie movie, so get out there, take a hit, throw a punch. Yeah, it might hurt, but you know what else might hurt? Regret. And regrets for losers. Cancers, you've been scoped. Woo! Nailed them. We're cutting them.
There you go, Tammy. Big day today for Lisa. Lisa, what's today?
Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday, Lisa!
Thank you. Thank you so
Which
much.
is what? Aquarius?
Aquarius.
Okay.
And listen, Lisa, you got to think outside. You think outside the box, which is great. Unless you think so far outside the box that you forget what the hell the box even is. Being unique is awesome, but don't get so caught up in your genius that you forget to actually do something with it. Change the world. Don't just float away into space while we're all watching you float into space. And you've been scoped, Aquarius.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
That's an interesting metaphor there.
Thank you so much.
What do you got for Pisces?
Ooh, Pisces.
I feel like you just kind of gave up on that one.
I know.
You're like, yeah.
Float into space.
Let's see, Pisces, you dream big, and that's cool. But dreaming ain't doing. You can't just wish your way to greatness. You got to fight for it. So stop being all soft and mystical. The ocean's deep, but so is the potential ass-kicking you could be giving life right now. Yeah! So go out and make some wave. Rich and all the other Pisces, you've been scoped.
Feeling it.
God, this is a classic John J. and Rich bit. I can feel it. No, I hope you're recording this. This is good. I want this for my resume.
What do you got for Virgo?
Virgos. Let's see here. Let me shuffle through the papers. Virgos. I get it. You like things perfect. But newsflash, life is messy. And perfection is for robots. And robots don't win karate championships. So stop nitpicking every detail and just let loose for a little while. Trust me, it won't kill you. Probably. You've been scoped. John J. Virgos, you've been scoped.
That's beautiful, Grant.
Thank you. Man, I want to yell some more.
Okay, what are you, Capricorn?
Yeah, I'm Capricorn.
Let's see how your day's gonna go.
Perfect. Capricorn. You work harder than a drill sergeant on double time overtime. That's badass. But listen, life isn't just about grinding. Sometimes you gotta actually live. So take the day off, drink a beer, maybe 12, maybe even smile. You won't lose your edge. You'll just enjoy the view from the top a little longer. Capricorns, you have been scoped! I gotta go lay down, guys. Got lightheaded.
That's amazing. That's
Thanks,
amazing.
guys. Feeling good?
Okay, we got time for one more, Grant. Don't lay down just yet.
Okay.
Hold, stay in there.
Diane, good morning.
Too
What's
hard.
your sign?
Good morning, Scorpio.
Ooh, Scorpio. I love it. Can we go with 2, Rich? Scorpios, you've got intensity. Like staring into someone's soul intensity, and that's cool. But sometimes people don't know if you're going to high-five them or murder them. Maybe tone it down just a little. Nah, screw that. Keep them guessing. Just don't forget to actually live your life instead of plotting 24/7. Scorpios, you have been scoped today, brothers and sisters.
All right, Diane. Have a great day.
Good one.
Woo.
Thanks for calling in. Thank you for listening. So, Grant, did you watch Cobra Kai?
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Good ending?
They literally, every ending was the best ending imaginable.
They leave it.
Really?
Do they leave it for the movie? Is that
Yeah,
how-
I mean, it's just like the most positive, optimistic. You feel great for everyone, and I think the movie hopefully will start like 3 months, 5 months after.
I just saw the preview at the movies yesterday, and it looks really good.
Dude, the movie's going to be exciting.
Ralph
I'm-
Macchio,
When's that come
Jackie
out?
Chan.
I don't even know when the movie's
it
coming
comes
out.
out like soon.
Oh,
I think
really?
I think in May.
I believe so, yeah.
I think they're tying in like the LA stuff with the Japanese stuff.
I was
which
thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about Mr. Miyagi, played by Pat Morita, who
Yeah.
died. I thought if like he was alive right now, like if he just came back to life and you told him that there's a whole series, like the guy would be like, "What?"
There's a fight scene. I'm not spoiling anything, but there's a fight scene where Mr. Miyagi and Daniel fight together, and they fight a pack of skeletons, and Mr. Miyagi's like AI. And it is awesome. But then at the end, Mr. Miyagi is like, Daniel, you did a great job. And his mouth is like a video game. It's like, wow, wow, wow. So they didn't quite nail it, but it's so. There's also, I got to tell you this. There's one scene where, Johnny Lawrence is like the blonde haired guy, the badass. And then Danny's kind of the pushover, whatever.
Right.
At one point, they switch places, and Danny gives a speech like Johnny Lawrence, like a pump up speech. Awesome. And he goes from wearing the white uniform to the black uniform.
Okay.
Oh, dude, it's like goosebumps.
excited.
Everybody watch Cobra Kai right now.
All right, time for Stacks and Acts. I have stacks of information. Rich has life hacks. What do you think is the most played sport in America, Kyle?
Football.
Wrong.
Oh, soccer.
Wrong.
Baseball.
Wrong.
Ping
Rich.
pong.
Wrong.
Highlight.
Wrong. Cornhole
Cornhole.
is the
Oh.
most played
That's not
sport
really
in
a
America.
sport.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
Ball.
That's like
Hey.
a picnic games, right?
I think the cornhole people are going to come after you because there's
That's true.
It's
That
a
is-
there's cornhole world championships on TV. It's
Sure.
on ESPN.
True. That's
There's
true.
billiards too, but I don't think that's a sport. I think it's an activity.
I think if it has a ball in it, it's a sport or a bag.
Okay, I was like, is there a ball?
How many photos do you have on your phone, on your camera roll, Kyle?
At least 15,000.
15,000. The typical person has 1,598 photos on their phone camera roll, and millennials have the most on average with just over 2,500. You probably raised the bar on that
I
one.
guess so.
Francisco Rivella is an Italian chemist who's credited with inventing Nutella. And sadly, he passed away on Valentine's Day. He was 97.
Man.
According to J.D. Power, Lexus is the most reliable car brand for a third consecutive year. Buick was second. Volkswagen was last.
Buick. That's probably because there's not that many of them out there.
2 men in Louisiana were caught attempting to smuggle $200,000 worth of contraband into a federal prison by using a cannon to get it over the wall.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's not very sneaky. An 87-year-old man in Oklahoma just scored the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest brick collection. He had 8,882 different bricks. Now, a different type of brick. Thieves used a U-Haul truck to rob a place called Sasquatch Bricks in Washington State. They were only inside for 5 minutes. They got about $10,000 worth of Lego sets. Police in Florida say an attempted murder suspect stole a deputy's cruiser, then pulled over and carjacked the driver before crashing and being arrested. And he wasn't wearing a shirt. I have the audio of the guy. This is the cop chasing after the guy.
He just stole my patrol car. He's running northbound. Lights are on. He tried to take my gun from my holster. Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Someone asked, what's one word you can never spell correctly?
Restaurant.
Restaurant is up there. Restaurant's number 13 on this list.
Congratulations.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
That's a tough one.
Diarrhea is number 2.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's
so
a tough
hard.
one. It
That's
is.
so hard to text that, and sometimes the autocorrect doesn't do it. For restaurant, for me, autocorrect does it right away. There's some words that I spell so wrong that autocorrect gives me nothing.
Endeavors.
Now, I'll tell you, hemorrhoids is up there.
No, sure.
Alcohol, nauseous, definitely. Privilege, refrigerator, restaurant. Rhythm is tough, too. Rhythm.
Pneumonia? Is that on there?
Not yet.
If you're having to type pneumonia and diarrhea in the same text, it's not a good day for you.
Conscious, seize, receipt, embarrass, accommodate, occasionally, necessary, boutonniere. Convenience is number 3. Diarrhea is number 2. The number 1 word that is hard to spell is maintenance.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maintenance.
And receipt, that's tough too. Because the P can go anywhere, really.
Someone asked servers to name the top things they secretly hate. And by the way, after I go over this list, if there's something else, if you're a server, call 877-937-1047.
I waited tables for a long time. Can I try one?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So when you go to the table and you ask, do you need anything? One person says something, and then when you come back, then another person needs something, and then you come back, and then another person needs something. Just say it all at once. Is that on there?
That's not on there, but that's good. You have like the inside scoop. Someone says, when you eat everything on your plate and then say, I hated it, they give you a laugh you want. They just heard it a million times. My wife does that all the time.
Looks like you didn't like that.
When you come in 15 minutes before they close, everyone in the kitchen hates you too. My son, Jake, worked at Over Easy, and they close at 2, I think. And sometimes we'll go at 1, and he gets so mad that we're going. Not because he's not working there anymore, but he'll be like, they close in an hour. Let's give them the respect. Complaining about prices is something that pisses people off. Acting like a regular when you're not really a regular.
Yeah, that would
I'll
upset
take
me.
my usual.
What's your usual? You've never been here before.
Snapping or whistling to get their attention.
Oh, yeah, that would bother me.
A wave is fine. If they don't see you at first, give them a minute. When you don't say please or thank you, some people say, I'll have this or I want that. That pisses off servers. Parents who let their kids throw stuff everywhere. Grabbing your plate or your drink off the tray that they're holding.
Yeah,
Seems
because
you're
it's
helping.
like, I've got the balance.
When people insist on sitting outside and then complain about the temperature or the noise or the bugs. And the number 1 thing is when you walk in, sit at a table that hasn't been cleared. If it's got dirty dishes on it, it's obviously not ready. Those are the top 10 things that restaurant servers hate. If you got something else to add to that, like Kyle did, 877-937-1047. What do you got for life hacks, Rich?
I'm just talking to my boy Joe, and he has a couple of exams coming up that he said were hard. So I was checking out brain hacks, and here's a good test. Brain hack. Try this. Like if you read the question in your professor's voice, science says this is called context dependent memory. In other words, your brain is more likely to recall information when it's in the same context in which you learned it. So think about your professor telling you that fun fact or telling you that question. You hear it in their voice, and you are more likely to remember that. Kind of fun, yeah? If you have voice notes from that class, you should play those back too. That hack and many more can be found at johnjaneRich.com.
877-937-1047. I just went over a list of like the top things that servers hate. Kyle used to be a server. She was very specific about something that bothered her. You went right there to it. Andrea, what is something you hate as a server?
Hi there. Yeah, I heard you guys were talking about things that annoy people as servers. So I bartend Monday through Friday, the lunch rush, and on top of that, I take tables as well as taking care of the bar top. And one thing that annoys me, and this literally happened to me yesterday, is people can see, that I'm going between the bar and tables. And usually everyone's pretty aware, and I'm pretty aware that everybody's in a rush, obviously, because so am I. They'll walk up to me from their table across the restaurant and bring me their check into the well while I'm literally shaking drinks in each hand because I have to make the drinks for the servers also. And they're like, obviously, from what I can see, in a rush to close out immediately because I'm assuming, oh, my gosh, they got to go back to work. I'm like, oh, give me 1 second, put down the drinks that I'm making, close them out right then and there because we have handhelds that I can do it on real quick. And then I see them sticking around for like 45 minutes or an extra hour. Like, why was that necessary?
All right, that's a good point.
Yeah.
If you leave, sure. If you're out of there, sure. But if you're hanging out, wait. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, you could have waited like 30 seconds for me to strain that margarita. You
That
know
is
what
so
I mean?
annoying.
Where do you bartend?
I'm over at Thirsty Lion. I don't know if you guys have ever heard.
Of
It's
course.
by the
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah,
1,000
great
things on
spot,
that
great
menu.
spot.
Is that the
No,
is it Tempe
absolutely.
Marketplace?
And there's 1,000 things on the drink menu too.
Is it the one at Tempe Marketplace? Is there one there?
There's one there. I'm over by Chandler Mall.
Oh, right on. Okay. If all goes well, I should be in Chandler today. We'll see.
Okay.
What has to happen
Only
for you
come
to?
by.
I will.
What are you going to do to break the bubble?
Oh, my friend Greg, he
Ooh.
wants to connect
That's a
all the
good one.
time now.
I'll sit on it.
Remember, I went to lunch with Greg like 3 weeks ago or a month
Yeah.
ago, and now he was like calling me out saying, we're not keeping up on our monthly ritual.
It has to be a monthly thing?
I don't know what it is. It's just too much. I need space. Andrea, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
Have a great day. Thank you
Have
for
a great
listening.
day.
Bye-bye. We got a text, and I was going to read the text, but we actually have her. This is the beauty of the text line. You text us. You text JJR, whatever you want to say, to 96893. We'll either read your text or call your text. But Vanessa, what was your text, Vanessa? Good morning.
Good morning. The coolest thing happened to me this weekend. I saw Kyle and her family in the wild.
The wild. Where?
My girls were playing against Easton's football team in flag football, and I saw Kyle and her husband Fish and Addie pull up.
So you played Easton's team?
Yes, my girls did. They
You
were
guys.
the only girls on the team against Easton.
That game was so intense. That game was so intense. We were literally on the edge of our seat till the last 20 seconds of that game. It's a tough game.
Yes, our team lost in the last 2 seconds.
It was wild. It was wild. There was like all kinds of different penalties. We got called for a jump cut. Something I don't even know what that is. I think they were making it up.
That sounds like an editing thing.
But your girls were really good. I was like, look at those girls out there holding their own.
Thank you. And you look so adorable with your Valentine's Day sweater, and it was so fun
thanks.
seeing Fish and Addie throw the football with each other.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, they were throwing the football while I was watching the game. Like, what's happening?
How come, doesn't Addie also play football?
She does, but her game was like in an hour. Like
Is she on a girls' team or much like
she's on an
Vanessa's?
all girls team.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know. That's why it's nice. Your girls are hanging with the dudes because they're going to probably play like much better in the future. We have one girl on Addie's team whose dad coaches her brother's team, and I guess she used to play on her brother's team.
Oh, so she's good.
So it's like she's playing down,
Yeah.
playing with us.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
Wait, so Vanessa and Kyle, that was your Valentine's Day flag football?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, very
It was
romantic.
I know. Everyone's like, what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? I'm like, flag football. We got 2 games. No big deal. And then afterwards, we went to dinner with like 2 other couples and their kids that like all of our kids play together. And, you know, it doesn't really hit that it's Valentine's Day, even though it is, until you're in a restaurant and you see all the Valentine's dates happening. And in the restaurant that we were at, it was almost as if we didn't get the memo because there were several couples dressed almost like 1920s, like full on like.
Did you go somewhere fancy?
No, not really. It's called Parlay. It's not really super fancy. It's like a nice restaurant, not fancy or anything like that. But one of the couples, I couldn't stop watching because it was fascinating. They were both on their phone the whole entire time. But the girl was on her phone just doing selfies. And I was at the angle where I could like see the selfies she was taking. I was like, what an interesting Valentine's Day. Like, it's probably, she's doing that because like her dude's not looking up from his phone. It's like, I'll
Right.
take another
Did you
one.
make it in
Take
her
another
selfie
one.
at all?
No.
Oh, that's too bad because you had that software that they have on Night Agent. We could find that picture.
Yeah, we were just far enough away where we were in the background of it. But
Well, Vanessa,
definitely.
thanks for texting in and thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Tell your girls a good game too.
You know, on Valentine's Day, I was in Sacramento because my son Kemp had a basketball game there. So I flew in there on Valentine's Day. So my wife picked me up at the airport and we were like, we're going to bite to eat. So we're looking for some place healthy. And there's a chain. I know I've eaten there with my wife at my sister at a couple places called Mendocino Farms. I don't know if it's here yet. Have you guys heard
I
of
haven't
it?
heard of it.
No.
But we go there, and it's one of those, you stand and like, you order your food, then you sit down, they bring you whatever, and you tip. And I'm like, what am I tipping for if I got to, carry the food to everything? Anyway, the lady says to me, this is such a brain fart. She says, wait, let me change the football music. She goes, here's your receipt. And she points and she highlights the number, my order number. And she goes, take this and go to your table, and there's a QR code there. And she goes, put this in on the QR code, and we'll bring the food to you. That's how we know what table you're at. I'm like, okay. So I sit down, and by the way, the restaurant is as big as this studio. And
So
there's nobody there.
They can find you.
They could just go, oh, that's the guy that ordered that salad. Right. Bring it. So I grabbed the receipt. I'm holding it, and the way she explained to me, and there's the QR code in the middle of the table, and I'm rubbing the receipt on the QR code. And I'm rubbing it, and my wife's like, what are you doing? I go, she said to put the number on the QR code.
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm putting the number on and I'm rubbing it, and I go back to later, I'm like, I walk over and I go, hey, I'm rubbing this on the table. And I go, and the QR code, I don't understand. Is something supposed to happen? And she looks at me, she's like, really? She goes, you're supposed to put your phone against it. And I go, oh my God. Like, I know that. I know that.
How tired were you?
I was so tired.
You had to be so tired.
But I was like, I know that. And I'm just sitting there going, I can't believe, if there was security footage of me doing that.
Such an airhead moment.
Such a stupid.
I am rubbing this QR code.
And then I go back and I do it. And then I plug in the number the right way, and it doesn't work. And I go back. Now, keep in mind, I'm walking closer than where Nick and Jenna are. And I'm walking and I go, hey, I plugged it in. And I'm sorry. She goes, I know where you're sitting. I can just bring you the food, sir. And I'm like, thank you. And I sat down. And my wife's like, what is going on with you? I go, I don't know. Why do they have to? I go, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Why do I got to go through this anyway?
You could see if it was like a big food court, where you could be sitting anywhere.
That's a great example where there's 75 restaurants. It was so embarrassing. John J. Rich, here's a text. I love getting scoped in the morning. Grant should do those more often. Yeah, Grant's doing it every day this week. Peyton's on vacation. John J. Rich, as a customer, not a server, what drives me nuts is when a waitress asks if the food tastes great as soon as I take a bite. I can't even respond to you yet. Chill, dude. I got to tell you guys, I find that this is a bizarre moment. I started following this guy on Instagram a while ago because he was like, you remember how when RFK was running for whatever it is that he is in charge of all the food, I don't know what his title is, health supervisor, whatever it is, and his family started bashing on him. I was like, why would his family bash on him? So I was checking out who his family is. He's got this cousin named Jack. So I started following Jack. And this guy, Jack, is just so negative. Every post is negative, right? So I finally unfollowed him, yesterday. I unfollowed him yesterday because I thought he was so negative. And it's RFK's cousin.
Oh.
And then, Lord and behold, Jenna here, our behind-the-scenes media person. Jenna, what's your story? It's tied into this guy.
Well, now I'm like, maybe I haven't seen all the negative posts. Maybe I'm on a different algorithm. But Jack Schlossberg, I believe his name is, he's just he's goofy. He's super goofy. He is always making a lot of political type videos, but I just think he's a funny guy. Anyways, I went down a rabbit hole with him recently, and I was like, ooh, I like this guy. I've got a new crush. My goal was to find him on Raya. I even upped my age so that I could find him on Raya.
You upped your age?
Raya is the dating app that costs a lot of money to join. Lots of celebrities on there.
Yes, it's just fun to see who you can find on there. Right. But I upped my age to 32 because I heard that he was on there looking for a Valentine. Oh. So I was like, you know what? Shoot your shot. I'll accept the Kennedy curse for this one. And so,
that's a pretty bad curse. You sure? You sure you want some of that?
We'll give it a shot. For him, I'll risk it. But anyway, so you never know who you're going to get in a batch on Raya. But I came across him and I sent him a message, and you only are given a few direct messages. You can send likes, but you only get so many direct messages with your account.
Month?
That's wild.
No, per entire instance. Yeah. So I used one of my direct messages on him, and I said, it was after Valentine's Day, and I said, are you still looking for a Valentine? No response.
That's what
no response.
You used your DM.
I know.
How many do you get?
I think I only had 2.
You get the whole time, you only get 2?
Yeah, you can buy another one for $10.
Oh, smart.
I'm not doing that.
So that's the only one you've ever used?
I used one on an artist one time, but he also never responded.
Who was that? We are in the music business. We might know who they are.
His name is Goth Babe.
Goth Babe.
Sounds like a great guy to introduce to your family.
I didn't want to say the name.
What was the message there?
I think I said I knew who his dog. Like I had followed him on Instagram, so I made a comment about his dog. You know, I was like, let's get that personal string going.
How'd that
but
work?
it didn't work. He also didn't respond.
Oh, lame.
I know.
Goth
So
babe.
all my what the heck?
But
all
I mean,
my
are you
direct
still
messages.
looking for a Valentine after Valentine's Day?
I thought, he's on the apps. He must
He's
still be
probably
looking
like,
for one.
What's your problem? Valentine's Day was Friday.
He's like, she
Can you
doesn't know.
see if he read it?
Let's have a look. I don't
Because,
know.
I mean, there's a good chance he doesn't go to Rhea every day like we do
Right.
to Instagram. So maybe he'll see it in a week or so.
And that's what I told myself. I'm like, he's busy making political videos or
Yeah, you should
whatever
be like-
it is that he's doing.
What's up with your weird cousin? That would have gotten a response.
Noah, go ahead. What's up, Noah?
So, Jenna, Goth Babe is mine, okay? He's really hot, and I like his dog as well. So, stay away from him.
Are you guys
Well, now
serious?
I know
You
why
need
you
to look him up,
answered.
Dante.
Have you DM'd him and asked him out? It's a battle between
Hey,
Noah
Noah.
and Jenna.
No, he's on Rhea.
Is Goth Babe straight?
I assume so. But he's like your, stereotypical, Colorado, I'm in the mountains guy with my
Oh,
dog.
interesting.
In the tent.
Little mustache.
I'm into
Well,
it.
why don't we have a competition and see who get a date with Goth Babe first?
Noah's got it.
Looks like
Who gets the response first?
I didn't realize we have the same type, apparently.
Wow. You guys are going to have to duke it out.
I know. We're going to fight this one out.
so. So Jack Schlossberg, RFK's cousin, is 32.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I liked him because how he was, but his social media was just so angry about politics.
I
was
think
like,
I'm
yeah,
seeing a different algorithm.
maybe, I guess. But I'm talking about his Instagram. I scroll his Instagram, I'm like, geez, chill.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jenna, how old are you?
24.
What did you watch the Saturday Night Live stuff?
I did. I loved it.
So you got it all. You understand? Like my son, you know the part with Robert Goulet, Will Ferrell's Robert Goulet, and Kristen Wiig
Yes.
has the little hands.
Yes.
Like I was watching that.
Lawrence
and
Welk show?
Yeah, my son was there with 3 of his buddies, and they're watching it, and they look at me, and they go, "We don't get it." We don't get it. And I had to explain who Lawrence Welk was, and all. So did you get it?
I did. Well, for one, my grandpa, a.k.a. Squish, is what we call him. He watches Lawrence Welk every Saturday at 4 p.m. His friend calls him, they FaceTime, and they talk about Lawrence Welk and what's going on.
Okay, so that's why you knew who it was.
Yes, but I also grew up, I'm very thankful, I had exposure when I was like 8 years old to SNL. So I grew up watching like the Californians, the Lawrence Welk show, all those bits.
Okay,
and
good.
so I was obsessed that they brought some of them back. I was like, oh my God, I'm living
Kristen
for this.
Wiig with the little tiny hands.
Very
I can't.
funny.
Like so
So good.
funny. And she's like smacking Kim Kardashian's booty. I was dead. Will Ferrell.
I'm Janice.
Oh, Janice alluring.
I'm Holly.
Like the bush.
I'm Margaret.
You sure are grit.
And I'm Denise.
So funny.
Guy with the little hand.
Try.
You know what I thought was really funny was the very opening with Sabrina Carpenter and Paul Simon, and he goes, I sang this song in 1975 with George Harrison, and she goes, I wasn't even born in 1975, and then everyone laughs. She goes, my parents weren't even born in 1975.
That's a really good line.
I didn't know the song. I never heard of that song before.
Homeward Bound. I think it's from the cartoon. That's what they
I've
did.
never seen the
I didn't
Homeward.
Yeah.
Well, entertainment news this weekend, lots of stuff. I say first we get into Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively at the SNL thing.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. So there was a point in the show where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are asking questions to the audience, and Ryan Reynolds stands up.
Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Seemingly a nod and a joke about the legal problems between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Right. Now, according to TMZ, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were the talk of all the celebrities there. Like, why are they here? What are they doing? Not only is it Ryan Reynolds' ex-wife's husband's workplace, right? And totally unnecessary for him to be there. And on top of that, like, wow, dude, you're joking about like there's a $400 million lawsuit filed against your wife. Ha chortle. Like, is it really nothing? So I thought that was pretty wild. Outside of that, one of the guys that actually starred in It Ends With Us was on with Gayle King. His name's Brandon Skellner. And I didn't see it. Sklener. he was asked if he was Team Justin or Team Blake. And they were like, he made him so uncomfortable. And then Gayle King was like, obviously you don't have to answer that, but just seeing how you were feeling. And he was like, all business, just basically like, let's just make it about the movie.
I just want people to remember why we made the movie in the first place and what it stands for, and just keeping the focus on that. Like that movie meant so much to me, and so it's unfortunate that things get taken away from what the ethos of that thing is.
I saw this clip. I saw it, and I don't recognize the guy. I don't know who he is.
I didn't see the movie, so I was like, but I did, like, it jarred my thinking to think like, oh, wait. Now everyone in that movie, no matter what they do, no matter what interview they do, it's always going to be Team Blake or Team Justin.
But I want to get back into why would they go there? Because Scarlett Johansson, who was in a bunch of sketches, is Ryan Reynolds' ex-wife. Like, you would almost think Blake Lively would go, why are we going to this?
And her husband, Colin Jost, is on the show. It's his show.
Like, it's so weird. Even there was also Pete Davidson there, and Kim Kardashian was there.
Yeah, and supposedly they ran into each other, like, backstage, but it wasn't anything like romantic or anything hostile. It was just like, hey, what's up? How are you? Because I guess they really haven't kept in contact after they broke up.
Everybody was there. That was way more star attended than any Oscars you've ever seen.
So many celebrities. They said there were so many celebrities there that half of them had to sit in a different room. They couldn't even sit in the actual studio.
I was telling you, on Friday night, they had the bands playing, right? And Miley came out, and she starts singing a song, and she's like, are you guys not going to get up? She goes, get up, or you guys are too famous like the Grammys. Get up. And then she goes over, she starts calling Jerry Seinfeld out. She calls all these different people out individually. And then they all get up and they all start singing with her. And then it was just nonstop after that. It was fantastic. What did you think of the Saturday Night Live stuff? Did you watch all of it, Jenna?
I did. I loved it. And it started off strong with the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively stuff, which, I mean, like you said, why would they even talk about it if it was such like a serious accusation? You know what I mean? Like, to put that out there as kind of a joke is like, ooh.
I heard it could come up in court now.
Probably.
Like that scene?
Yeah,
or just
scene.
And then
it
Blake's
also
face.
makes you think it's
I know Blake's face. And then, I posted it on my Instagram. There's a video that kind of zooms in on Kevin Costner
Yeah, I saw that
behind
too.
them. And he is so unentertained and so fascinated that he kind of looks over to see Blake Lively's reaction. I'm like, that's all of us.
No,
he was all of us in that situation.
Literally.
So this was something that was really cool. This is Post Malone and Nirvana. And if I'm right, this is like the first time, right, that band's performed since Kurt Cobain died. Yep. Right? It was freaking nuts.
Post Nirvana!
This song gave me goosebumps.
Post Malone said a killer.
Sing. What's he going to sing? It was pretty damn good. It's all over Instagram.
Strong.
Yeah, it was big. How about Mike Myers? It was great seeing Mike Myers. You see him do Linda Richmond?
Yeah, she's getting verklempt. But it was funny because it was on Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph's show, Bronx Beats, which is part of one of my favorite sketches from SNL.
Bad news, it's raining. But good news, it's sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Is that where you got that from?
It's sweater weather.
Because as soon as he did that, I was like, that's where she got that from?
The SNL sketch. Sweater weather. Sweater weather.
Man. What about Will Ferrell and Chris? Oh, we did that one. I thought, what about Will Ferrell and when they did They Not Like Us? That was pretty funny, too.
Oh, my gosh. That was so...
Yeah.
Will Ferrell was like, he was in everything, every skit, and I was here for it.
I know, I needed more Will Ferrell.
I know, I agree.
What about Eddie Murphy? I think ruled the place,
Oh, my gosh.
too.
Eddie
that
Murphy
skit was
Tracy
hilarious.
Morgan.
Yeah.
I did.
And look at this. Tracy Morgan. Big dog gonna make some big money. Now, wait a minute, Tracy. Don't you already have a lot of money?
Well, you gotta have a lot of money if you're gonna live like I live. I eat 4-cheese lasagna.
That was so funny. I thought that
so
sketch
good.
to me was potentially on the way to being an extremely funny sketch, and then for some reason Tom Hanks came out there and ruined it all. Like, it was like Chris Rock comes out there, asks a trivia question or for Saturday Night Live, says that he replaced Eddie Murphy. You got Eddie Murphy there being Tracy Morgan. I was waiting for some sort of like joke about something, and then it was just weird.
There's sometimes you watch that show, like Eddie Murphy to me could be a sketch member right now and kill it. Did you see the prison The prison guys that were in prison.
Yes, that
When
one
he's
was hilarious.
Eddie Murphy's telling the story about how hard his life is, and he's talking about when he's a child and gets whisked away to a wizarding school. And the kids are like, "Are you talking about Harry Potter? Don't get my face about Harry Potter."
And then Will Ferrell came out in that sketch too.
That was funny.
Wearing
Big Red.
like sexy shorts.
Oh my gosh.
Real small.
So good.
Yeah. Have you guys followed or seen Will Ferrell's son on TikTok?
No.
He's got a TikTok, and every once in a while he posts Will Ferrell on his TikTok, but he's a singer. And he's really, really good.
Like a serious singer.
Like I think, you know how Gracie Abrams is JJ Abrams' daughter?
Yeah.
I think he's going to ride those coattails because he's good. Like he might be somebody we're going to later go, oh my God, this is Will Ferrell. His name's Magnus.
Huh.
I'll send you his TikTok. He's fantastic. It'd be great to get him in here and all we do is talk about his dad. But anyway.